Ecuador is experiencing its 17th day of national strike, peaceful demonstrations that have been made by police forces in degrees that some have qualified as excessive. From Quito, our collaborator Elena Rodriguez gives us the details.
We are outside the Attorney General's office, a few blocks from El Arbolito Park, where, as Orlando reported, there were moments of tensions when at least 100 police arrived, motivated by what some describe as an act of provocation. They arrived here, stopped the march that was peacefully developing in the encampment. The participants stopped to play music, and there were very difficult moments of tension. It was not known why they came here because at this moment there is no state of exception in the city of Quito, although it is true that there was a decree, but the decree applies to other provinces, not to Cochincha, in the outskirts of the capital where we are. We have been accompanied by a number of volunteers who are medical students from different places in the country who have come to assist in case there are confrontations with the police. We are going to interview them to know precisely their criteria about these difficult moments of tension, what some call harassment by the police. How did you see that? What is your name first?
I am part of a brigade of volunteers from different careers of medical sciences, physiotherapy, psychology, medicine. We are a contingent of volunteers who have tried to support in this part of a strike, but we have seen many outrage by the police, harassment in the morning for the indigenous who are like a shield with their faces covered or something like that. It is an incredible persecution, a behavior that generates tensions because if they come and corner you and threaten you, obviously you're going to respond in a certain way. The police have acted above the law during all these 17 days of strike. The government itself has tried to cover up all these atrocities. In reality, we do not know the real number of dead or the total number of wounded. The police made a national chain for the death of the soldiers, which is painful, but equally painful is the case of the other 6 brothers who died up to where there has been this separation with the government where only the life of one is worth and not of others. And that is what the people are clamoring for, because it is not only a clamor as we hear from Rafael Correa from Belgium, that is an issue for everyone. We all want to eat with dignity. We all want health. We all want free and quality education. We all want to go out in the street safe. We all want to not have to listen every 3 months that there's a new massacre in a prison because the government has not yet solved the prison problem. The internal commotion has been going on for a long time. The inflation is terrible. There's no pocket that can stand it. Today we have a basic food basket that exceeds $700 and we earn $425 as basic, and the gasoline costs $2.55. That affects a considerable part of cab drivers that are not only the yellow ones, but many work for Uber. And what is the subsidy for those people?
You work in the front line as volunteer. You are a student from different areas of medicine. What are your experiences in these 17 days of strike?
I can summarize: excessive violence, abuse of force, abuse of weapons, shooting at the body. I think we have all seen how the bombs went straight to the bodies of the people. There has even been a moment when the police climbed on the roof of the control house and threw stones from above. Imagine the force with which the stones fell on and bounced 2 meters against the pavement.
What medical emergency have you had to deal with?
Head injuries, many asphyxiations, including children, pellet wounds, people losing consciousness. The gas they are using is much stronger than the one generally used in this event, and it causes people to suffer symptoms that go far beyond the usual ones. And it causes people's symptoms to go beyond irritation of the eyes and throat, producing nausea, vomiting, dizziness. dizziness. The other day, we had to evacuate a girl who was in convulsions for half an hour because the gas she had breathed was super strong.
Tomorrow, the indigenous and peasant movement is expected to arrive in the capital of Ecuador in varying numbers of demonstrators. We are also known that you as volunteers are preparing yourself in case of an escalation. What do you have planned?
All the brigades are preparing themselves with personnel and supplies. In reality, we do not know what can happen. We are simply preparing ourselves as volunteers. I believe that we have all come here of our own free will, and in the context of only one thing we have done is to call for more volunteers because we know that tomorrow can be a complicated day, which we hope will not lead to major consequences, but we have to be prepared.
Has your work been guaranteed supported by the government forces and police forces?
De momento, sí. Bueno, el día que tuvimos que extraer heridos desde la Casa Bambú hasta la Católica, tuvimos que negociar.
Up to this moment, yes. Well, the day we have to remove some wounded and take them to the Catholic Church, we have to negotiate to make a humanitarian cordon and separate all the wounded, and after them, there was a boy who was following us and they assaulted him and we had to intervene. Thank God. So far, I think they have respected all of us. I don't know why I think that in the Central University they have problems because the police shoot pellets there without caring who they hit. The situation in the Central University is much more critical because there are many more abuses. And I don't understand why we are volunteers who only want to help.
This is the atmosphere, this is what is happening in the capital of Ecuadorians after this moment of tension that is being lived. Around 100 policemen have arrived that both the demonstrators and the volunteers have qualified as an act of provocation. This is what is emerging at this hour.